Ever feel like therapy is more about what the therapist thinks than what you're experiencing? We're diving into that very idea today, exploring how respecting a client's own theory of change can completely change the therapy game.
What's fascinating here is that while research overwhelmingly points to client factors as the most influential in therapy outcomes, the focus often drifts elsewhere.
It's like going to a mechanic who just starts taking your car apart without even asking, so what seems to be the problem?
And that's where this article, The Client's Theory of Change, really grabbed my attention. Duncan and Miller use this provocative analogy, comparing how the field often views clients to dinosaurs.
Okay, dinosaurs in therapy. I'm intrigued, but a little skeptical. Lay it on me.
They argue we often see clients as either Godzillas, these forces of chaos in their own lives.
Basically blaming the client for their problems.
In a way, yes, or we see them as these helpless deinonychuses, just plodding along, incapable of change without us.
Dinosaurs aside, that's a pretty bleak way to view the people we're trying to help. And as you said, it contradicts what research tells us about the power of client factors.
Exactly. This perception of clients as either Godzilla or Deinonychus is precisely what the client's theory of change seeks to challenge. It proposes that the client's own understanding of their struggles and what might help them heal is the most valuable tool we have.
So instead of imposing our expert opinions, we shift to really understanding the client's internal roadmap to feeling better.
Precisely. And when therapist and client are aligned on this theory of change, we see some really exciting outcomes. More significant progress, higher satisfaction with therapy, and even a decrease in clients quitting early.
Which makes perfect sense, right?
Yeah,
If you feel truly heard and understood, you're more likely to stick with it and do the work.
absolutely. And that's where the importance of shifting from an interview to a conversation in therapy comes into play. We need to move away from trying to fit clients into neat little boxes.
Because nobody wants to feel interrogated when they're already feeling vulnerable. It reminds me of this one time. Okay. I'll spare you the story of my disastrous first therapy experience. But the point is, feeling genuinely heard makes all the difference. How does this shift from interview to conversation actually play out in therapy, though? It sounds great in theory, but what's the practical application?
It impacts everything from the questions therapists ask to the roles we embody. Instead of grilling clients for information, we ask questions designed to understand their unique perspective.
So, less, what's your history with this issue? And more, what does your gut tell you about what you need right now?
You've got it. We become less like experts holding all the answers and more like fellow travelers, walking alongside the client as they uncover their own path to healing.
That makes the client's theory of change even more critical then. It's not just about feeling heard, but about that shared understanding being the foundation for everything that follows. But what if a client's initial theory of change is, well, off base? What then?
That's where the art and science of therapy really come together. Remember, this theory is dynamic, always evolving.
So how do we help clients refine those theories without imposing our own biases or expertise?
By asking the right questions, of course. The article outlines some really insightful ones. For example, therapists might ask, what needs to happen for you to feel better? Or, how has change happened for you in the past? What supported your progress?
Those are really thought-provoking questions because they encourage self-reflection and draw on the client's own lived experiences. It's about tapping into their inherent wisdom, not treating them like a blank slate.
Precisely. And this is where it gets even more interesting. Duncan and Miller argue that the specific therapy approach, the tools we use, become secondary to this process of understanding and aligning with the client's theory of change.
Wait, hold on. Are you saying that whether it's CBT, psychodynamic, or any other therapy modality, it's less important than we might think? I have to admit, that's a bit mind-blowing.
It might seem counterintuitive, but think about it. When a client feels truly heard, when there's that deep resonance on the why of their struggles and the how of their healing, the what often becomes much clearer.
Meaning, the right approach, the most effective tools might even reveal themselves organically through that collaborative process.
Exactly. And the article provides compelling examples of this. They discuss cases where therapists adapt their techniques based on the client's unique perspective and theory of change.
So it's not about therapists having NO expertise. It's about using that expertise in a more fluid and responsive way, always centering the client's needs and perspectives.
Precisely. And that's where the true magic of therapy unfolds. When we empower clients as active participants in their own healing journey.
This conversation has been incredibly eye-opening. It makes you wonder if this concept of respecting someone's theory of change could extend beyond the therapist's office. Think about it. How often do we assume we know what's best for our partners, friends, even colleagues, without truly taking the time to understand their perspective? It's like we're so quick to offer solutions without fully grasping their theory of change for the situation.
It's a profound insight, isn't it? And it speaks to the power of genuine curiosity and empathy in all our relationships, not just the therapeutic ones.
Absolutely. This whole deep dive has been a powerful reminder that listening to understand, not just to respond, can be transformative in any context.
And that by honoring each person's unique theory of change, whether it's a client navigating their internal world or a friend grappling with a life decision, we open ourselves up to deeper connection and more effective support.
This has given me so much to think about, both personally and professionally, and I hope it's done the same for you listening. Remember, this deep dive was just a taste of the insights Duncan and Miller offer in their article.
Definitely take some time to explore it further on your own. You might be surprised at how these ideas resonate in unexpected areas of your life.
Couldn't agree more. And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive. Until next time, keep those minds open and those conversations flowing.